Oh, we fucking hate you, Jody. We fucking hate you, darling. Fuck me! What the... Okay, so here's what we learned so far this evening. There's a lot of cocaine going on at the Chibnall household. And I think at the Karney production office in general. That is the only freaking explanation for tonight's episode, which was not good. I mean, let's be fair. That was... Fuck me! Casually, they made the Doctor into a genocidal murderer. I mean, literally, she committed genocide. And kind of did a little dance about it. It was weird. It was weird and lots of it. It was very anticlimactic. Like, nobody really had a climax. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. I'm a little bit stunned, right? Like, again, and you know, how do you take your absolute worst element, which is Jodie Whittaker? I mean, come on, how do you not know yet? She's shit. I mean, we thought you got it. Yeah, we thought you understood. I think he thought nobody'd be watching by now. He could do whatever shit he wanted. But this is the worst episode of the season. Yeah, by far the worst episode of the season. It's so bad. It's like intensely bad. And it tries. Oh my god! It just moves so quickly in the first like 3 quarters that you're like, who gives a shit? Oh man! And then they get Jodie Whittaker. They run her through a triplicator beam. So there's 3 of her, right? And like, okay, that. What the... Like, what? Why? Who thought turning that onto triple was the way... There's a lot of cocaine going on in the Karney production office, clearly. Because how on earth does anybody go, oh, yeah, fuck me, that's the way to go? You know, the stunning babe Jodie Whittaker. Yeah, who's really popular. Everybody loves her. Apart from incels, everybody loves her. Why don't you have her? You know, because she's so good. And she's so bubbly and full of life and hope and optimism. Why not have her not twice, but 3 times? They did it twice with David Tennant. We're going to do it 3 times. Oh, God. Chris. Okay, listen. I think it's fair if anybody somehow attains the gift of time travel to go back in time to a 12-year-old Chris Chibnall. Mentor that child, right? I know it's going to be obnoxious. Mentor that child for a couple of years, right? And then crush any hope or dream of being a writer out of him. He's just not there. He's not good at it. I mean, like, really... He got lucky with Broadchurch. That's essentially, he got lucky with Broadchurch. I kind of like some of his stuff he done on Torchwood, right? I mean, but he got lucky with the Broadchurch. But man, like, he was able to fake it, right? Broadchurch was faking it. This is really faking it as well. Well, because Doctor Who is a very hard show to do, right? You've really got to, like, have talent to be able to do it. And, like, boy, if you don't have enough talent, it really shows, right? It really, really shows. And boy, does Chibnall not have enough talent. It was shocking. And then boring. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, obviously they're going to continue the plot threads, but, oh, God, fuck off. Fuck off already. God's sake. Oh, they said that she's not going to regenerate. So, okay, whatever. And then the universe wasn't destroyed after. I don't know how. They did. I mean, look, I'll go. Look, I was going too quickly, so I was writing notes, like nonstop. Maybe when I read my notes, I'm going to go over my notes for we'll find out how the universe came back. I don't know if it did. It's like, oh God. It should be a universe without Daleks, Cybermen, and Sontarans now. But then the Daleks are in the next time trailer for the New Year's Day special. I mean, like, I don't know. What do you want? I don't know. It was shit. It was shit. That's the best way I can describe it. It really was genuinely shit. It was, oh God, this was a real chore, right? This one was a tough one. Fine. Let me get to the chat. Jonathan Cox, how you doing, sir? DC, oh dear. Yes, you are fucking right. It was, oh dear. I understand Prometheus better. Oh, Prometheus is way better. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's like... No. Prometheus was good. I mean, yeah, okay. For some reason, what's her name? I can't remember the name of the actress. South African. Kind of hot, but isn't. Charlize Theron, right? Charlize Theron can't work out to run left or right instead of forward, right? Let me outrun this giant ship. I'm going to run forward. Like, go left or right. Other than that, I like Prometheus. Piss off. I like the robot. I think he's great. I love that villain in general. I do like, I mean, I like that actor anyway. All right. But, yeah. Fine. So I digress. Are we really going to end it like that? Yeah, so that's what I got. Apparently so. That was the big ending. I think we'll be able to see the Doctor shot by a machine gun Dalek over this time next 2 months. Was it her getting shot? I don't know. Eva, Listener. I want to know what happened to me. Oh no, I don't know. You really don't. It's like I did. Yeah. Who gives a flux anyway? Yeah, no. This is super garbage, right? This is like super garbage. What a serious note of BD Rich. Was it just me, or did that feel 4 episodes compacted into one? Yeah, it went. Like I just got a headache. Man, it was like. Information forced into it at an insane rate. Yeah, it wasn't a fun process. So she doesn't want to know about the Timeless Child and Division. Does that mean the overhanging plot for the series was pointless? Well, I think they're going to come back to it in the last one, right? I don't think they're going to mention it for a bit. I think they're going to studying Brave Adventures with Dan and Yaz. Who? Oh my God! I was just like at the end. I was like, God, just snog already, you pair of dour lesbians. Like, just have a shag, just have a kiss, right? Could you? They wanted to. Oh my God! Tongues nearly came out there. Okay, that was that went down. Ethan Buckheimer, how are you? I was like 37 or 52 of decks and casts thrown in the air in mid-shuffle scenes. It does not wreck the B-plot, does it? No, I guess not. It really does. A B-plot, I mean, there's like 48 plots going on. Trying to follow the episode felt like having a stroke. It did! With added CGI sparkles. Exactly. I didn't see the sparkles. I was bloody typing. Says Lee Sing. Man, oh man. Yeah, that was crazy. that went way too fast. Fine. Listen, I think Gareth Morgan is here. How you doing, sir? Commodities regenerating in part of space where time flows differently. Yeah, please. Come back. Well, I can say, says Dan on Facebook, that it was told. Dan, do you want to come on with me? I'll send you a link. I'll send you a link in a second. Again. Oh no, I'd love being on Space Type 40, right? I'm always excited to be on. Space Hound is here. You know what? I'm going to send him an invite. copy to that's copied. Good. So let me go over here. Yeah, I think being a massive one. I'm putting a message down there. Wanna join me, big boy? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Come here for a good time. Come here for a good time. That should entice him. That should entice him. Unless he has what I like to call sanity. Anyway, I digress. Also, Mr. How you doing, Mr. Declan? How are you, sir? The Osgood Engines is here. Robert Payne is here. Man, Robert Payne. That was, Payne. That was the way I could describe this episode. It was too fast to be dull. I mean, it was too like cut. It was like all done in effort just to hide that it was shit, right? Says Moldy Looking Stain. It was awful. You are correct. Moldy Looking Stain is correct. It was indeed awful. There we go. Heather Sulu is here. Okay, wow. I thought I was caught up. Oh no, I wasn't. Man, I hadn't even hit 8 o'clock yet in the chat. Fine. So now I really got a whiz. She cried. Falcon Howell is here. How you doing, sir? Stuart Perry, thank you for joining us. Why is Jody still here? What part of Get Lost does she understand? That was really the vibe I got. Right? Like there's a lot of cocaine going down in Cardiff, apparently. That's the only thing I can explain it. What was the point of the Grand Serpent as well? Hardly did anything with Belvinder. Bloody, I mean, like, you just assume they're coming back, don't you? I mean, I do. I assume they're coming back because they didn't do anything with them. Jimmy Quirks with Comic Quirks with Jimmy. How are you, sir? I'm somewhat in shock from the episode of Doctor Who. We just watched it. It was, oh man, it was not good. I tried to concentrate and follow it, but my eyes glazed over. Man, I stuck with it. Okay, I stuck with it. Philip Kelly is here. What's the point of the cyberpunk Daleks and sometimes eye candy? Distraction from lack of story. Gary Bryant says, I feel like Inspector Morse at a rave. Yeah, that's exactly what a perfect analogy. Oh, man, that was just annoying. Jonathan Cox is here. We know they want to go to bed, get on with it. And let us get with the money. I think they're talking about the coming of Rusty Davis. Please, speedily in our days. Okay, fine. So the next time, the machine gun Dalek was true here. Yeah, that was kind of fun. Fine. Let's start going through the episode. Oh, that was shit. It was. I mean, like, really. I mean, I don't think I can emphasize how shit it actually was. It was very, very, very shit, okay? Sorry, I got to stand up for a few minutes. Oh, I was sitting while I was transcribing this episode. Okay, firstly, the Nova Jones TV show, the ad before Doctor Who, looked rather good in comparison to Doctor Who. It was some, like, girly girl band kid show in space. I was like, oh, yeah, I could watch that. Previously on Doctor Who, shit. Fine. So the cliffhanger again was, oh God, none of this makes any sense. Swarm had arrived. He was able to form a temporal chronal bridge with the Doctor to get into Division, and then he evaporated Tectoon, blah. And then he was advancing on the Doctor. Now your turn, Doctor. She was seemingly toast. No way getting out of that one. So she got out of it by walking away relatively slowly. And the Swarm didn't think to follow her. Said, There's no point to run. So she thinks there's any point in running. Well, yeah, there was actually. So the doctor runs away. Storm just stands there. Then suddenly, the Sontarans that have entered the tunnels, right? And they were taking out Yaz and Dan. They get zapped by something. I couldn't work out what it was. I'll let you know tomorrow on the fuller replay, right? When I have all the screen grabs to hand, right? I don't know what something takes them all out somehow, right? So that happens. And they also get zaps. Where then Swarm back at Division Swarm, and Azure tempts the Doctor with the watch. Said, hi, Kai, we can give you all your lives. And then in the tunnels, in the whatever it was, the Liverpool tunnel guy, there's a tunnel that goes to 2021, December 5th, 2021. They're like, oh, that's convenient. We'll go there then. So they go there, and so the Doctor zaps herself. And Joe, oh yeah, fine. So she says if she removes her temporal badge thing, well, what she gets? She'll get zapped back to her universe. So that happened. So she does that. And she gets she zaps back to the Calvinista's ship with Bell, who have taken out all the Sontarans, I believe. Then the Doctor phases out in and out. In the tunnels, they go to 2021, and there's Kate Lethbridge there. She's got the Doctor's TARDIS from the Weeping Angels episode from 1967. As seen in last week's episode, being held by UNIT and never mentioned by Brigadier whatsoever to the Third Doctor somehow, right? The Brigadier's not going to do that. I say, Doctor, we have another one of these things. Maybe you want to take a look at this. I mean, there's a shelf of DMAT switches in there. DMAT circuits, I should say. So where are we up to? So then the Doctor zaps into there, into 2021, and she meets Yaz again. Yes! How long's it been? Years? Oh, about 3 years. Oh! And they run to each other, and they hold their bodies close to each other. Their lips intertwine, and their tongues enter each other in a pat. No, that doesn't happen. That happens in Yaz's head, right? That happens in Yaz's head as she awkwardly rubs herself up against the Doctor when she hugs him. When she hugs her, that's kind of what happens. So the Doctor, of course, is stunning and brave and clueless at the same time. I don't know how I got here, she says cluelessly, because she's clueless. I don't know how I got here. Then zim, she's zapped again. She's back at Division, and the U says, "This is not usual." I'm like, really, Ecky thump. Swarm talks to the Doctor again and said, we have everything we need, the power to destroy the universe, the Division, and the Doctor as our playthings in time. Unfortunately, it's more shit titles. Then we come out of the titles, and there's a Sontaran video message. I thought it was still humanity, but no, it's not. It's to form an uneasy alliance with the Daleks and the Cybermen to survive the Flux. Doctor then is back on the Carvinista ship. She disengages the ship from the shield, disabling the shield, I guess, for some unknown reason. And then in Sontaran Command, the Grand Serpent's with them. So the Doctor aims the ship at Sontaran Command, and she's just totally flies into it, don't, and gets stopped boing in like a little bubble. So they got her caught. But then that turned out to be a stunning and brave plan all along. Who would have guessed that was a stunning and brave plan, was to be captured so she could be taken to, those in charge. So where are we up to? Full sword, yeah, we said that. Okay, so then when she explains, she goes complete into smug mode and says, "Oh, I'm the bestest ever." All this has really happens. It's like she is insufferably smug. This doctor, right? Just insufferably smug. I'm making the font size bigger so I can. My tired little eyes. That's better. That's much better, actually. Fine. Khan. Fine. Grand Serpent, the Doctor. Okay, fine. We did that. So the Doctor wants to send Belle, who she's never met before, on a solo mission because she couldn't sense her stunning and braveness. Then the Doctor zaps back to Division again. Oh man, they're going from bum 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 bum. So Allure, and back in the Division, Allure wants to open the fob watch and starts to, and she sees the floating house, and that's all her memories inside the house. And she's taunted by Swarm inside this like weird dream sequence. And he said, "Look, I can dissolve all your memories," and he starts dissolving them. And she looks at her hands, and she's melting as well. I'm like, yeah, get rid of this Doctor, please, please. I don't care if she doesn't regenerate. Just gone. And then they wind it back again. And they're torturing her, and they're enjoying it. I'm like, well, I can understand that. Then she zaps back, and she's in the tunnels again. What's this thing? I post everything with cool. So she says to fine. So they dealt with the old bloke. The blah blah. I bought my tunnels, sir. Blah 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 blah. Tunnel blah blah. Damn your eyes, sir. William Stevenson or whatever his bloody name is, right? So now they're done with him. You're done. Plot device done. Goodbye. They send him back to 19 whatever, and say he was the best as ever. She says, it's like stupid lines like, "Yeah, do everything." He says, "Have a caution, madam." He says, "Oh, I do everything with a caution or abandon." These are bad lines given over badly as a bad pastiche of Doctor Who. Says it's been a few years, and Dan says, "Oh, she was the bestest ever," as the Doctor. So then the tunnel guy gives this info dump before they get rid of him, and they say he found these portals. They don't explain any of this, right? No, don't think any of this gets explained. The portals, or remember all the stuff about Dan and like not having a real life, all that stuff back in episode 1. Nah, not really dealt with at all. It must have been interesting in the moment. That's how they must have looked at it. So he says he wandering and found different portals, and so he found one portal to when the Flux destroys the universe, and so he built like this underground city with tunnels, using these tunnels, and he's saying the final destruction will be in 2021, right? So there it turns out that the Sontarans have invaded Earth. They're using human prisoners for their psychic force thing, where you don't really know what it is. And then there's I forgot. This is so shit. This is so stupid. Okay, this is beyond stupid. Okay, unbelievable. And then they have a thing saying Sontarans are raiding corner shops, which doesn't make any sense to me. And when you find out why it doesn't make any sense. So the Doctor explains everything to Yaz, and she tries to say that she's scared. Like, why is this Doctor so shit? She is just so shit on paper and in actuality. It's unbelievable. So the Sontarans have invaded Earth, and they they do raid corner shop. So you have one Sontaran commander. He's raided a corner shop. He sends the privates away. He's like, and then he like goes around eating all the candy. He wants all the sweets. He's like, Sontaran. I'm like, what? Like, I'd like what? So then it gets more shit. Okay, don't think we got to the end. Oh my god, we're just scratching the surface of this disgrace. Oh my god. So then the doctor shows up as he's like gorging himself on curly whirlies, like and he says, the Sontarans are both the vanquishers and the saviors. I'm like, okay. So they make a deal. They got two people they want to get into be volunteers for their psychic command, where they're using people for, and they want this Sontaran to get him in there. And in exchange, they're going to give him the recipe for chocolate. Okay. This is actually happening. Where am I? And he says, yeah. He said they actually did. So then we go and get Claire from 1967. So this is after the Angel episode. She must have been dropped off there, walking down the street, and she meets the doctor outside the TARDIS with Jellicoe. She's like, yay, you all survived, yay, this all makes sense. It doesn't make sense at all. And they want her and Jellicoe to infiltrate Psychic Command, right? Okay. Then she zaps a boom, and she's with Carvinista, Dog Boy. And she remembers him a bit, right, from their time in the Agent. He's in the division. He's like, I can't talk about it. He says, why not? He said, well, if I talk about it, I will die. So there's a switch in my head. If I talk about it with anybody, it goes off and it kills me. He does say, look, there was a time where I would have done anything for her. Then she left him. It's like, I get a bit of backstory there. Then we zap back to the crumbling house and division. If this sounds giddying, yes, this is exactly what it was like, right? It is giddying. One second, I'm going to communicate coming. Okay, fine. 1 second, let me give a thumbs up. 1 second. Doink. We got a maybe from Dan. Fine. Azur says they want the end of all spatial objects. Then Azur says the Doctor is obsessed with saving things. Why you want to save it? I'm like, I don't know. Now, the Flux is not going to destroy Earth last. They've changed it so it's going to destroy Atropos last. And they'll play with it in time and wind it back and replay it over and over again. And they're going to make the Doctor, I think, relive it over and over again, right? As a punishment for entombing them or whatever they did. Who knows? It's not explained, right? Yeah, it's so many things are not explained. Fine. So Swarm starts tearing the Doctor apart and then reassembling her. And then she gets zapped to the Sontaran command, and she's about to be tortured by the Grand Serpent and the Sontaran. I'm like, okay, that's where this one is now. The Doctor is taken away as the Dog Boy, as Carvinista says, that he's going to kill every last Sontaran. Then he howled. Oh, yeah. So they're very, very. I missed a line. He's very upset because in this very nice family show, they say he's a blast of the Lupari. He's the Dog Boy is the last. He's like, well, what does that mean? Like, why were the last one? It says, oh, we murdered them all. We commanded all your spaceship's doors to open. They got sucked out. All your entire people are dead. Right? They're all floating, and he's like, oh. I will kill you. Okay. And they hang on. Then he's going to say, I'm going to kill every last Sontaran. And he howls like from the trailer. On some empty planet is Passenger, that big guy, Passenger. There's all people inside him. And he's on... and on the inside is the one-armed woman, Diane and Vinda. And now there used to be lots of people in there, but she says now it's only her. Why did they keep Diana alive? Because why she left over there? Because she's insignificant. She says, but I'm not insignificant. I am woman. Hear me roar. I mean, that's basically the vibe coming off her. Then they get zapped into another. They're inside this world inside Passenger. And there were other. They're in this whole world inside Passenger. So when they go through a boundary, they get into another world. So that's what happens. And now they're in a different world. Was it they? Was it? 1 second. Fine. So they're in. Yeah. So they go inside Passenger, and then they shoot the controls of Passenger. They find like the workings inside, and down. Boom! Suddenly they're outside Passenger. Okay. Which is a bit strange. Okay. Okay. That's why it works. Over in the Sontaran Psychic Control, Jellicoe and Claire arrive, and it's their job to predict the time and date of the final flux. And he said it'll be excruciating, but the rewards will be success or death. Right? 1 second. So the rewards will be success or death, and he says, and what's the reward for success? He says, death. So it doesn't seem they should be highly motivated, but they are anyway. Jellicoe is a man of science after all. I said, well, they are asking me. I guess I have to. Meanwhile, the Serpent is interrogating the Doctor, and they're both shit. Really? I mean, like, the Serpent's shit because he's been given no dialogue. As the Doctor runs rings around him. Like, well, you should zap him with some, like, intense pain or something. Shut her up. I mean, that should buckle in a second, this Doctor. And there's a lot of smugness from the Doctor. Oh, God, this Doctor's so freaking smug. I've never have seen a character with so little cause to be smug, which is so insufferably smug. Right? It's just insanely smug. Fine. So where are we? So then the serpent the Grand Serpent starts putting snakes inside the Doctor. He's running around. That's not very polite. But then the Doctor arrives to save the Doctor. Right. So what's happened is apparently she's broken into 3 Doctors. There's one in the Division, one in the TARDIS, and the other one being interrogated by the Grand Serpent. Okay, I don't know when this happened. I don't know, but they are. There's 3 Doctors now, right? That's what all the jumping around was about. So one smug Doctor comes in and saves the Doctor, and the other Doctor is smug because they're smug because they're the Doctor, and there's lots of smugness, right? And they catch the Grand Serpent. The Doctor says about herself that she. Oh my God! When the Doctor walks in front of us, I said, "Yeah, I have such a crush on her." I'm like, okay, ooh, this is weird and creepy. Belle is being stunning and brave as she teams up with the 2 Doctors. Oh yeah! Oh God, it is a bit nauseating. So then Dan goes and frees Carvinista, who was captured by the Sontarans, apparently. So inside the TARDIS, Carvinus, the Broods, because his whole species has just been killed, but you forgot because it's all moving too quickly. Two Doctors plan. The Doctors find out that Belle is pregnant, right? What they do with the pregnancy? Nothing. They don't. They don't really do anything with it. Just so you know, is that going away? No, not this episode. No. The end of the series. No. I mean, unless they bring them back and actually do something with this, what the hell? Doctors hears about the alliance with the offer with the Daleks and Cybermen, and the Double Doctors are triple shit. I wrote here in my notes: Double Doctor, triple shit. I would say exponentially shit. And they contact the Third Doctor now in Fragment over in the Division. And now there's three of the fuckers. That was my note. I think it was very scary for me. Together they work out the Flux is antimatter from another universe. Then Claire and Jellicoe look for the date psychically, and then they find it. They have the coordinates in space and time. The Sontarans head to it. The Sontarans abandon Earth for the Flux energy. Serpent comes in and looks for the Doctor, finding Kate Stewart. Comes into where? I'm not even sure. Vinder calls the Doctor on his magic radio. Yeah, I guess he must have just heard the Doctor when he came out of like hyperspace. Like, where was he again? I've lost it. When they took over the Sontaran ship, not came out of hyperspace. So looking for Kate Stewart. Oh, my head! My head's literally about to explode. Right. Then Belle hears here's Vinder in the TARDIS as Vinder calls the Doctor with his magic radio, right? Because they're outside of Passenger now. He tries to call the Doctor, and it's in the TARDIS. And Doctor, are you there? And then Belle hears it in the TARDIS. Then Vinder and Diana suck back into Passenger. The Ground Serpent tortures some random guy for information about Kate Stewart, and kills him. Why is he so obsessed? Right? We don't know at this point. Jesse's bad. Random guy knows and spills the beans before being killed. Okay, so then the Doctor and Yaz bicker a bit. They're trying to get the tunnels go back in 1907 or whenever it was, and the Doctor. He says goodbye. Oh, fine. The tunnel guy says goodbye at that point, right? He's done. Boom, flush the tunnel guy. Don't see you again. His work here is done. Then zap back to Division, and the U says the final flux has begun. And okay, fine. So the Doctor arrives at Passenger and is shit and smug. Passenger, she takes the TARDIS inside Passenger. Vidra Bell unite, as does Dan and Diane. Vinder finds out he's having a baby. She's having his baby, I guess. The tunnels work out Sontaran plan. The Doctor, back in the tunnels, the Doctor works out the Sontaran plan is to lead the Daleks and the Cybermen into the place of the final flux. They're saying we're going to give you a truce to survive the flux. We can get behind the shield. And we'll all be safe together, right? But what they're going to do, they're just going to lead them to where the final flux is, and then they'll get behind the shield, and the Dalek Cybermen will just be blown up, and they'll be all powerful, right? That's the plan. But you can't really work that out until after you see it. With all the matter of the Daleks and Cybermen to absorb the flux, they hide behind the Valpuri fleet. What was that? With all the matter of the... okay, fine. That's the plan, right? with the flux coming in, eating everything. It's made out of antimatter. So if they throw the Daleks and the Cybermen out, that should absorb most of the flux. So and they should, and they'll all be able to hide behind the The Sontarans will hide behind the Dog Boy shield, which is stupid in of itself. But okay, right? And then they say, should we let the Daleks and the Cybermen be destroyed? It says, I have a plan, but it's even more risky. I'm like, okay, well, your plans are always moronic and stupid and risky. Fine. So then in the division, Swarm's plan is to sacrifice the Doctor to Time and Atropos as the flux consumes the planet. So then a strike force of Vinderbell, Carvinista, and Doctor number 2 takes on the Sontaran fleet, while the Doctor 1, Jellicoe, saves Jellicoe and Claire. Vinderbell, Dog. I mean, I'm not. The reason I'm not filling out these details in the thing because it was written perfunctory. Like everything was just like, and this happened, and this happened. It was like it was so stupid. So then Vinderbell and Dogboy 2, they get to the Sontaran controls as the Daleks and Cybermen accept the truth. But the Daleks realize they've been deceived as the Cybermen as the flux eats them up. But the Vinderbell, Carvinista, and Doctor Who have changed the shield, and Vinderbell takes out the comm system, and so now they're all trapped outside the shield as the flux is coming. And this is the end of the universe. So she's literally committing genocide to at least the Sontarans. Like, for what? Right? I do not see why she's committing genocide, but she is. So then she's like, I can't say. Then she realizes they're done with Jellicoe. Says, well, we can't save you. And he nobly sacrifices himself, taking out a Sontaran. Jellicoe is great, right? Jellicoe is his last line is, what an awfully big adventure. Yeah, he was the best thing about this series. I like Jellicoe a lot. So her plan was to the Doctor has a plan to trap the flux behind the Vulpari shield. If the Vulpari shield will stop it going in, it should be able to stop it going out. Apparently, that's how stupid the idea is. But okay. Diane has an idea of putting the remaining flux into a passenger. So now on Atropos, the Doctor arrives with Swarm and Azure. Swarm summons his savior. I summon my savior, and it is Time. So Time swirls around, and I didn't get this at first, but then he turns into Swarm. I'm like, so he's himself. I don't understand. And only a little bit later I didn't understand that wasn't when Swarm was being Swarm, right? That was when that was when Swarm was being Time was being Swarm, right? Time takes on the form of Swarm, but it's very unclear. Then Time kills Swarm and Azure, right? I said, look, they bring the Doctor there to be their sacrifice, but Time says, yeah, I'm gonna kill you instead. And he dissolves. Then they're gone, right? Swarm is gone, and we have no idea who Swarm is, right? Swarm for having the flux swallowed by the Doctor. So Swarm is swallowed up by Time, and then that just leaves a fob watch, which the Doctor then grabs. Time then turns instead from Swarm to the black-coated Doctor, and that's when I realized that's like an avatar that Time is using, right? And so Time so she can leave because she's headed to the end anyway. She says, no, I can't be headed to the end. Not me. I've got too much life. I keep on. But they say, no, there's going to be no regeneration, no life. I'm like, really? Wow. Okay, bye-bye. That's a weird choice, but okay. It looks like they're wrapping things up. And then it said, beware forces raised against you by their master. So the master's obviously returning. In one of the specials, at least. Probably the last one would be my guess. Then she reforms the three doctors into one doctor. Time does this, right? And she's back in her very full TARDIS. Like, there's so many people in that I can't even count. They go back to the tunnel in 2021, and the Grand Serpent is hunting Kate Stewart. Then Vinder pulls a gun on the Serpent, and he gets a revenge. And Kate holds a gun on him and forces him through door number 7 in the tunnels, which is like this barren rock in the middle of space, and close the door. So they're just murdering him, right? They're like leaving him there to starve to death. Okay. So then, and we're wrapping up, right? We're wrapping up. So then they, he said, I want you to know what exile feels like. Okay, this is actually called murder. It's not called exile. So Carvinist, the story ends up where he goes off with Bell and Vinder in their own, I guess, pilot, their own TV show somewhere, which probably is better than this garbage. Then the Doctor, Dan, and Az enter the TARDIS leave. They stop to see Claire, who is now with Kate Stewart, right? Who says, like, she says, I like this regeneration. I hope she meets again. She says, oh, I'm sure I will be. Then Doctor is, okay, it's over. Right, then the Doctor is back. Dan is back at the non-official as tour guide Liverpool. Wait a minute, wasn't the universe just destroyed? What? No, everything's back to normal now. It's all over. But what? So was it destroyed? Was it not destroyed? So then he meets up with Diane. He said, oh, look, I wonder if I booked a restaurant for us. Maybe we can go for that drink at last. She's like, oh, maybe not. And she shoots him down. She's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. Well, that storyline went nowhere as well. I mean, like, genuinely nowhere. And then so he ends up back in, like, the Liverpool Bay or whatever it dock or whatever it is, and the Doctor shows up with hey, what a governor, I'm going to Ventures with me. I said, yeah, okay, I guess so. And it's very anticlimactic. So then in the TARDIS they have a heart-to-heart with the Az and the Doctor as Dan goes to pick a room. Doctor has this big apology scene to Yes. Hey, I didn't let you in, I was wrong. Oh, I'm sorry. I want to tell you everything. I want you to know everything. And they're about to tongue kiss, okay? They are about to lock lips. They're like, oh, I'm so glad we're studying British lovers back after 3 years. It was really about there. I was like, kiss. And then Dan interrupts. And, hey, is this the way to find rooms? Is it? No, that way over there. Okay, fine. Then the Doctor, and then Yaz says, oh, I'll show you. Come here, because I'm stunning and brave and the bestest ever. So then when it's left alone, the Doctor takes this big, like, globe thing off the TARDIS console, and it's like this big drop inside, and she takes the fob watch and says, here, I want you to put this in the deepest, darkest place where I can't find it, right? You keep hold of it. She says, until I ask for it and really mean it. So in episode 3, we've got 3 more of these pieces of shit, and it's finished. Blah, 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 blah. The universe is right. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It's so freaking bad. It really is so bad. Yeah. So again, we saw the Doctor commit genocide for no apparent reason to the Sontarans. Because she could? I don't understand. She actively trapped them in with a barrier inside with the Flux, right? That seems like she's just committed genocide. and she was kind of like did a little smug dance about it because she's Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who, which is completely amoral, right? Just completely amoral. Hey, killing is wrong. Unless you need to kill somebody because they don't agree with the transgender policy. Like what? No, it's like it's not as black as white as you weirdos keep saying because you guys are weirdos. Oh man, I don't know. So the ratings for this, what's my prediction? Let's have a look. Yeah, we'll go over here. Doctor, here we go. Let's see how it goes. It's opening up. Thinking about it. Fine, I'll go over here. Wrong one. Go over here. Share screen. Oh, it was so bad. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the ratings up to now. So it got a real bump from Sontara from the Weeping Angels episode. Went up 320,000, right? That's pretty darn impressive. That had a real nice bump. I think it already lost it from last week and this week. I think this was unintelligible garbage. My guess is I'm hoping they get below 3.1 because I'm hoping they get below 3.1 because that would just be the lowest rated ever, right? That was lower rated than McCoy's episode ever was, which would be somewhat gorgeous, right? That would just be somewhat hilarious for me. And you know what? I think that's fair. Overnight to overnight, please. People caught up in 89. They had VCRs. We all had videotapes. Leave me alone. But yeah, it was so. The AI, they actually managed to keep the AI up as well. It's only down to 77. That AI should have been 75 for that episode. I reckon the AI for this one's going to be 75. I reckon it's going to be epically low. Because it's unintelligible garbage. I mean, really? It's the only way of describing it as unintelligible garbage. I'm really intrigued to see what the overnight's going to be. Because, oh, man. Did my bloody head in. That really did my head in. It's just unbelievable. Are there any reviews out yet? Let's have a look. Doctor Who review. Here we go. News. Is more funny than terrifying. Piss off. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what. I don't know how obsequious the Den Geek is. I think they probably are. Chris Chibble's most ambitious Doctor Who yet reaches its conclusion, but probably not the one you're expecting. Boilers ahead. What, the shit one? I know, that's what I was expecting. Several generations over a decade ago, there were 10 million viewers sat down to watch Journey's End. I wonder why so few people now. Which at the time was intended to be Russell T Davies' last regular episode of Doctor Who before a handful of seasonal specials ended with his tenure with the blah 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 blah. Okay, if we're not panning Shomron from now, as time and circumstances place Shomron with similar civilization, it's no surprise he might look at. Okay, no, go away. Normies. We need normies. That was all 3 weeks ago now. How about all arranged by time, date? Evil of the Daleks, news right now. Evil of the Daleks, Vanquishers, podcast review, independent piss off. Flux draws it to a satisfying, not satisfying at all. If you want answers, yes, overloaded finale misses opportunities. Let's have a look at this one. Oh, 1 second. There we go. Dan's just joined us.
Hello,
How are you, sir?
hello. Good evening, Rabbi. How are we?
Oh,
Enjoyed
oh,
enjoyed your
I'm a bit
evening.
jiggered, mate. I don't mind telling you, I'm a bit jiggered.
I'm not surprised after 6 weeks of that crap. Hello, everybody watching out there on YouTube. You have to
Oh,
breathe in and
oh.
see how you're coping.
Okay, so did you notice that the Doctor's now genocidal mass murderer?
I didn't. What? Excuse me. I'll just put this on mute.
Okay. Well, now I feel like I'm on a cliffhanger with Dan. Okay. Right, but let's look at this review while we wait for Dan to return. Enjoyable but overloaded finale misses opportunities to edit, teases the end of Whittaker's regeneration. They say she's not regenerating. Flux is at his end, while Chris Chibnall is definitely provided one of the most ambitious series in recent years. Unfortunately, lots still fell flat. Yeah, like most of it. We catch up with the Doctor, Jodie Whittaker, as she's captured.
Sorry about that, mate.
No problem.
I'm back, yeah. It's like I've been waiting on a phone call for about the last half an hour, and of course, as soon as I join you and you good people, the phone rings. Sorry about that.
That's always the way.
There was lots about this. Never mind the genocide, the black gunk that was seeping, oozing out of the TARDIS a few weeks ago, the doors reappearing everywhere.
Yeah, not dealt with. Why was Dan such a loser at the beginning? What was going on? No, who cares? Let's move on.
Did she blow him out again at the end as well?
Yeah, for no apparent reason.
It was insane.
She got the fob watch and she said, forget it. I'm not that interested. Until I really need it. I really mean it. Icky thump.
Got to keep that mystery box open. You got to keep chasing it.
Oh God!
There's nothing else there, and there never has been.
It's so, and whenever they do show their hand, like last week, it was just so bad. I'm just like the cliffhanger as well. Like Azul's about to like disintegrate him, and she's like, "Hey, no, I'm gonna walk over here." Oh, you didn't think of that, did you? He's like, "Oh, you still think there's a point to run?" Well, I mean, and then he just summarily murdered, along with all the dog, the entire dog race is murdered as well. It's like Chibnall's really bad at this.
It got to the point where I had no idea what was going on or why. But we got 4 Jodie Whittakers by the end of it.
No, 3.
Well, there was 3 of them. But then didn't Swarm turn into another one?
No. Okay, though that was time. Okay, here's what happened.
Okay.
Swarm and Azur takes the Doctor to the planet Time as to the Temple of Atropos as a sacrifice for 2 Time. Time then appears in the form of Swarm. I didn't realize this. I thought this was another Swarm. Right? Okay, but Time then appears
in the future or the past.
Right, you're right. There's Time in the form of Swarm, and then Time is mad at Swarm for failing because the Flux is not coming now. And so he dissolves Swarm, and then when he turns to the Doctor, he then turns into the Doctor with a black coat, as opposed to the.
So what was for no apparent reason? So all these weeks wondering who Azure was and when she was going to say something or do something, she didn't actually do anything in the end. The passenger was another plot device.
Yeah.
What
passenger was there to suck up the Flux,
which makes you wonder why they didn't just do that weeks
ago. At the beginning. Yeah. I mean, really? Exactly. Man, it was garbage. I mean, it was like real hard-on garbage. So what do you think the ratings will be for this?
I think I watched it, and I didn't, I haven't watched the others. I watched it just to get it out of the way, fortunately.
You're up to date, though. You've seen episode 5.
Yeah. And I think that there could be an uptick. No, actually.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I think it'll be the same as last week, but negligible point.
Oh, I think they're looking at the 3.4 something.
I believe that people who haven't been seeing it won't have realised it was the season finale, so it's not going to have any kick from that. The people who have been watching it won't care that it's the season finale. So I can't see.
Yeah, but I think their range is three. I think their range is anything from 3.45 to 3.5 to under 3. There's a real range. I'm really hoping it gets under 3.
I watched it with my brother.
Right,
they've got a TV license. The last one he saw was episode 3, Once Upon a Time. So he's missed some in between. Which that one was confusing enough as it was, and he just kept turning to me and as if to say, I don't know. I've been watching it and I don't know.
It's unintelligible. It really is real unintelligible TV. It's epically unintelligible. Right? It's unbelievable. Yeah. I can't imagine respects, the AI of
as much as I hated Series 11, for me, generally speaking, this, despite the fact that it's got some surface virtues, I have to consider this worse. Because it's a massive
this is
new clothes of a season. There is nothing. It's just a lot of noise, running around, shouting, wheeling things on that they think you may like and may recognise, and then blow the doors off the place and leg it before anybody's had a chance to realise that they've been sold an absolute lemon that was never fit for purpose in the first place. At least Series 11 was just poor quality.
This is trying to disguise poor quality. This is like trying to distract you from seeing it. Yeah. Man, it's really poor. I don't know. I think it's really...
Did you notice how nobody gave a shit about Jellicoe apart from Yaz?
Right. Oh, God.
She spent years travelling with...
It was one of my favourite characters.
Yeah, so did I. But it was the only... Him and Claire... Oh, well, Claire... She may as well not have been there. So by the end of it, Jellicoe is the only character that you can really relate to. Carvanista's just a joke.
Right.
He was talking. It was the same old. The doctor's talking to somebody. They're talking back, but they're still not speaking. They're still not communicating.
Okay, there must be a lot of cocaine going on in Cardiff, in the Chibnall household in Cardiff, because, like, who on earth thinks that tripling your weakest asset is a good idea? It's like I can understand you doing it with Capaldi, but with Whittaker, what?
Yeah,
and she's awful, and then she gets worse when she's talking to herself. Do you notice her say, "Oh, I have such a crush on her"?
Yeah, it's shocking.
And it did seem like at the end that
your weakest link, your weakest cast member. She's the one that you duplicate, and 3 times over.
All right, it's just mind blowing. It's mind blowing. Yeah.
What did Dan actually do in this episode, apart from occasionally stroll over to somebody and ask them how they were? What did he actually do?
He did a lot of strolling over and asking people how they were. Right? He did an awful lot of that. I don't
Bishop
think
has made an absolute prick of himself on this show, and I don't blame him for taking the work when there was very little around. But my God, in a few years' time, he's going to look back on this and think,
"Oh no, I think he'll be able to milk it for comedic gold." It's like being in the.
You think he'll get a stand-up routine out of it? Because I remember for a time, Harry Enfield, the comedian Harry Enfield. He acted in a couple of sitcoms for a while. He was the original co-star of Men Behaving Badly, and he was really uncomfortable doing that. He was replaced by Neil Morrissey.
Right.
Yeah, he was very uncomfortable about it. And within a couple of years of him leaving the show and Neil Morrissey coming in, becoming really, really successful, Harry Enfield started doing sort of comedy routines where he talk about that time, where about the fact that he'd been in Men Behaving Badly, and he wasn't very good in it. And I can so see John Bishop doing a routine, doing a bit about the fact that he was once in Doctor Who and he had no idea what he was doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really a big leap now, is it?
It was such a big cast, and yet it was also distended.
It was. There are so many weird contradictions. It was. How can I say? It was very anticlimactic. right? That
Yeah.
room. It was very, and yet completely destroyed the character of the Doctor even more. I just think the callous murder of the Sontarans for no apparent reason, right? I mean, like, why couldn't they? Wouldn't she want to like save as many as you can? I don't. And then at the end, it all seemed to go back to normal.
At least Cybermen and Daleks, they're not natural life forms, if you know what I mean. They're either they're cyborgs, cybernetic organisms, or they're
and also like they were killed by the Sontarans. Fair enough. They weren't saved by the Doctor, but it was like killed by the Sontarans. I'm okay with that, but the Sontarans were actively killed by the Doctor, and like it's just a very undoctory thing to do, right? And then it was very anticlimactic afterwards. It was like yeah, they were going then, and then
bangs, more claps,
right.
more lightning bolts. Just anything and everything to stop people from asking the question, what am I doing watching this show?
Everything was just back to normal. It all never happened.
Well, that by the time the credits were rolling, that was the impression. They were certainly acting like everything was back to normal.
Right.
And yet I was thinking, and I'm not the sharpest knife in the box. Anybody who's watched my content knows this. So right. I'm not the kind of person who watches a film and is immediately is hit by plot holes. A lot of times, things like that, they pass me by. Directors like Tim Burton can get all sorts of stuff past me if it looks pretty. But with this, it's like it like hits you right in the face.
It's too unintelligible.
Yeah,
you got too much work to knit it together in your head. It's unbelievable. Please, I see Dr. Alex in the chat. I haven't listened to the latest episode yet, but oh my god, best Doctor Who being produced right now is on Dr. Alex's channel. Just 100%. Season 13, and if you haven't heard it, season 12. It's by far better than anything Big Finish is doing.
Yeah, you told me earlier on. I've had Ian Diaz messaging me as well, saying, did he ruin anything else? Well, no, only really the dignity of the entire fan base by prolonging this. He didn't actually do anything. He didn't deepen anything. He didn't reach for anything else and sort of screw that up. Didn't tell us anything about whatever he viewed the Doctor's origins to be. He locked it all away and threw it in a hole because he literally
threw it in a hole. Right.
And the next one, have you seen the trailer for the next one and the artwork they've put out for the next special, Eve of the Daleks on New Year's Day? That's also going to be, you can see that's going to be a typical New Year special. Loads of running around, really superficial, nothing up front. So there's going to be no lore in that, which means that if he is going to wrap any of it up, it'll probably be, I don't think he'll do it in the Centenary special because
I think that's exactly where he's doing it.
I think he'll do it in that one at Easter, the throwaway.
No, I reckon the Easter one's going to be a standalone fluff. It's all going in the Centenary special.
Because I imagine that the Centenary one, that if it's part of, mind you, it isn't though, is it? Because that's the one that they commissioned to say, look, here are your cards, mate. Go and do one. You can have one last episode. Here's an order for an extra episode. Wrap it up. Put all the toys back in the box and fuck off. And that's all I think the Centenary.
Although they did say she's not going to regenerate. Did you catch that line?
No, I didn't.
Time said no regeneration, no life.
So they're just going to kill her. They're just going to kill her.
I don't know. I get the feeling this is all going to be retconned away, right? I think this all never happened. But it's just
and let Russell reach into it and pull out whatever he feels.
Right,
he
exactly.
Because I've been talking. I mean, you and I, we talked. The Rabbi and I recorded a podcast together earlier on. We talked a little bit, didn't we, about what may or may not happen going forward. But another thing that I'd heard that I forgot to tell you earlier was another idea that I'd had, and I'd sort of been talking about it with people.
I forgot to add in on my branding. Where is this? It is the 8th night of Hanukkah. There you go.
That's lovely.
There you go.
Cheers. It's a bit parky.
I was so aghast. I forgot to show me candles off. She cried.
So what I think is going to happen is that what I think could happen is that if they don't go in that direction that we were talking about earlier on for this special, what they could do is have it a very sort of esoteric Doctor Who special. So it's the life of the Doctor, the life essence, and the continuation of the Doctor that hangs in the balance. And the special itself could be centered around another character entirely. I plucked Susan out of the air, partly because I think that Carol Ann Ford could still play that part at 80.
Right.
I think it'd be a nice character because she obviously was there at the beginning. There'd be some symmetry there. But it could be one of a few people. It could be Rose. It could be anybody. But somebody else in the middle of all that, because the Doctor is now the character that's been screwed up the most in the shortest period of time. And so it's almost as if both within the real world and within the fiction, it needs somebody to go in there and sort of brush the character clean of all this. But I don't think look
on the upside. It's just people aren't that aware of this because it's not that popular. Right, I mean,
which is a blessing. That's absolutely.
It really is a blessing. It really is
because
a blessing.
The general people, the normies, they won't care whether this is retconned or not. They'll be relieved if they see Doctor Who listed on the EPG or in a TV guide for the people who still have TV guides. If they see Doctor Who listed, they turn it on, and something resembling the show they used to like is present. The Angels episode proved that. Fugitive of the Jadoo with Captain Jack proved that. All they need to see those markers.
There's a huge thirst for it as well, right? There's a huge thirst for just enjoyable entertainment. It's like Steve Martin, right? Steve Martin in the late 60s. He was giving an interview about how he became as huge as he did. He says, so in the late 60s, everyone was talking about all these causes. I thought the next phase is just people want to go be silly and have fun. Right, and because he realized that that's how he became as huge as he did in the early 70s, which went on to snowball into his film career. And I think Russell Davies knows that. I think he instinctively understands the audience and their need for it just to be enjoyable stuff. I think Amari Douglas is very likely candidate. I think it'll be as woke as possible, but I think it's going to be very accessible fun.
Russell, I have met Russell, but it was years ago. Sarah's met Russell quite recently. I think JT knows him a little because JT was in one of Russell's things. I won't go into that. Right. It's a story for him to tell. So I know from everybody. I know from the man that I remember when he was much, much younger. And I know from when Sarah met him not that long ago, Russell T Davies is genuinely interested in people. He is not a shut-away writer, shuts himself away to write, away from other people. The fact that he had to have Ben, the fact that he had to have what's his name? The writer's tale, Ben. The fact that he had to have that correspondence with him. It is Ben Cook. The fact that he had to have that constant correspondence with him constantly all the way through. He's a very communal man. He's very interested in people. And I believe that he will continue. He will have continued talking to people about Doctor Who this whole time. And they will have carried on talking to him about it. And he will have definitely been
You know what? I think it's going to be... I'm hoping and I'm not sure he will, right? But I hope he's got enough... self-reflection to look at the things that were clearly bothering him with years and years, and with clearly with the Trump era and things like that, and see what things are now, and see, because I think there's a lot of egg on your face if you're in that world, right? I think that people are starting to realize that, and I think he'll be an interesting reaction to like, oh, how wrong we were.
I think Russell is a writer who needs to get something out of his system. I've seen him talk about the project that became It's a Sin. It was originally called The Boys. He'd been talking about that drama for a long time. I'm talking 10 years. It's a Sin. And it was something that he felt he needed to do, something he felt that was burning at him that he needed to write. I think the project that's coming up soon about Noel Gordon is another one, a story that's been with him for a long time. And I think that he's been working through those projects that he's always wanted to do.
He just signed for his new one with the BBC with about who was it starring this? I can't remember. It was starring somebody, a real life person, but I don't know who they were. Played by somebody famous. I can't remember who they were.
You're talking about Helena Bonham Carter playing Noel Gordon, aren't you?
I must be. Yeah,
that's for ITV. That's the big thing he's got coming next year. And so the thing is, what I like about Russell is that the things that have been getting to him over the last few years, he's channeled that into bringing It's a Sin to the screen.
Into great drama.
Projects, into great purpose-built drama that is there to facilitate the story that he has in him. Rather than say, okay, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring back Space 1999, and I'm going to, rather than tell a story about, and I'm going to make everybody on the crew there gay, and I'm going to tell the story about the AIDS crisis in the 1980s, using that instead, and repurpose something to tell a story that I want to tell. He's the story absolutely first, not try to piggyback it off the back of something else. He's let his story stand or fall on its own merits, and his ability as a writer to build characters and to get us to invest in them and the events that unfold.
You can absolutely build incredible characters. And because they all have these flaws.
Whereas I think that Chibnall had this idea for a sci-fi story that he wanted to tell, and just it never fitted for Doctor Who. So he's taken over Doctor Who and tried to turn Doctor Who into a show that would fit the story that he wanted to tell and his messages.
This is just agenderizing. That's all it is. He wanted to be the stunning and brave guy who made the first female Doctor. Woman. That's all it was. It's all it's ever been.
His condition on taking the job. Yeah, it does prove that.
It really is. Well, so Dr. Alex says, when are they going to broadcast the 6th anniversary? I believe November 23rd, 2023 is my guess.
Yeah, it's Saturday as well, so you can guarantee it.
Sorry?
It's a Saturday.
Yes, I think you'll have time to review season 14. Sorry?
The anniversary, I think we've got a bit of a delay here. The anniversary in 2023 falls on a Saturday evening as well, so you can bet that it will. I believe on that night.
Yeah. So yes, in answer, yes, you do have time. So my question is, what are they going to be producing in 2023? Do you think? Do you think the anniversary special will be the first thing we see? Do you think we'll see a season first?
Everything they've. Certainly, the initial statement that they made said that the special was going to be the first thing that we see. I have heard whispers that there's going to be a series first, but not from any credible sources. I've heard it from 2 or 3 people, and in a couple of cases, I know that they've got the best of intentions. But I think all it really is that they've looked at the calendar and seen it's going to be such a long time, over 2 years. Until there's going to be a new series of Doctor Who.
That's not so long. I mean, again,
it probably isn't that long.
They announced it in 2003, and it was like a good 2 years before we saw it. And I think they're starting from scratch again.
Well, he said we've had classic Doctor Who, we've had new Doctor Who, and this is all new Doctor Who. I think that they may even renumber the seasons. We may even get another series 1.
I think that's exactly what I'm sure we're going to get season 1. I think it's going to be. Sorry, I got distracted by Ham Dorney talking about the Blu-ray of season 17, which I cannot wait. I saw them talking about stuff at the BFI. I'm so jealous. Oh, I can't wait till season 17 comes out.
I saw you've got a message in your chat as well from somebody called Must Upload 2 who says, "Hi, Tzvi, I watch all your Doctor Who videos." That's nice when people say stuff like that.
Thank you very much. Listen, you're a man of taste and discernment. What can I tell you? Fine. Listen, for me, it's 11:20. I'm rounding up.
I've got a scoot as well. Thanks for the invite, and thanks for coming on earlier on. Do you have any final thoughts? Eat more roughage. Don't eat yellow snow. And well, look, it's not long till it's all over, everybody. We'll get through
3 more episodes. Oh,
just
God, I hope they're not.
And then months separate them as well, so we can cleanse both before and afterwards. Be there for one another. Please like the Rabbi's channel if you haven't already, and subscribe to all his stuff, and mine too, for that matter. Stick with us. As far as I'm concerned, this gentleman, as well as several other key people in the Doctor Who community, are the trusted voices.
There you go. Number one name in media. That's me.
No, but it's at the end of the day. I mean, have you seen the things that Radio Times have been pumping out just today?
It's so bizarre. But then again, we live in times where we're completely. I was saying earlier today. It used to be when you listen to the news, it might be a different outlook to yours, but the actual facts were factual, right?
Yes.
That's not the case anymore.
No.
You could be saying anything, and you have no idea. It's so weird. We live in such weird times.
Don't get me wrong, Rabbi. Some of your videos and some of your theories are wild as fuck, but
they're all crazy.
At least they're entertaining, which is more than I can be said. Whereas when you read through the Radio Times, oh God forbid you listen to their podcast. Have you heard their podcast?
Yeah, it's agony. It's agony. Look, this episode was really so dull. As I was reading through it, I was struggling to stay awake because I was just so boring. So anyway, tomorrow, tomorrow I have two videos dropping. I'm gonna do the Seth Rogen story about having a meltdown. And we're going to do but then I looked at the trailer for it, right? And I was like, this looks like the biggest shit ever. No wonder it did so badly. So we're going to look at the trailer together on this, and we're going to. So that's my backup video. My main video tomorrow is going to be the Doctor Who, the morning after. I think it's spelled MOURNING. We'll do we'll go through it with the screen grabs in much more detail than I went tonight. It went so quickly. And the ratings will probably be out by the time I finish the video. I really want to see the overnights on this one. I'm hoping they're lower than Sylvester's, right? I'm hoping they beat. So even though it's really not fair, because Sylvester, there's a lot of reasons why you can bump up Sylvester's, but I'm hoping they're going to beat Sylvester's in the lowest ever. And then they'll say ratings don't matter.
Rabbi, can you imagine what that AAI figure is going to be like come Thursday for that?
It's got to be 75. I reckon 75. But wouldn't it be great if it's lower than that? I think
it's possible. Thank you, everybody.
I think the end